And glad to have everybody with us. And thank you, Senator McNeil, for opening us up. I'm getting the volume set. So good deal. We'll get started. We will kick it off today. I'm going to ask my fellow chairman over in the House, Chairman Rose, to come on down. We'll take up House Bill 362 first. Yeah, that'll work. Just go right there. And so we're working on House Bill 362, which is LC. I'm getting there. Hold on.
Make sure we have the right same one.
441648S.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm just going to go through the highlights of the bill, and if y'all want me to go into more detail, we'll be glad to do that. This bill just does 5 things. Department bill, it codifies the rules and regs passed by the DNR board last year. The legislation also adds more species to the black bass and the trout categories, adds a new caliber to our primitive weapon category, and it authorizes the department to give custom deer bag limits to our DMAP properties, and it allows for and makes legal the use of minnow traps in our fresh water, just as we allow in our salt waters. And Mr. Chairman, that is pretty much the bill. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for the author of the bill? Senator Gooch is on number 4. Mr. Whip.
I guess it's section 2-5 deals with minnows. Does this have anything to do with the minnow theory?
I think the gentleman knows of what he speaks, and absolutely it does.
Could you go into a little more detail about that?
You know, it kind of works the same way as the circulation of waters. We're allowing them to put the traps down at our brackish waters and our fresh waters now, just as we do the salt water. So it just continues that cycle.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes,
you.
sir.
Senator Merritt, you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just had a question about and this is for my own education.
Yes, ma'am.
Possibly for the caliber gun. What's the benefit of lowering the caliber? Is it to keep the integrity of the kill, or?
Well, basically what this is CVA, which is a Georgia company based here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. They have, with the new technology that we have now, basically right now, legally for a black powder gun is what that is. 40 caliber and above can be used to hunt, but with the new technology, we've lowered it down to, well, if y'all agree with us, on the House side, we would lower it to, say, that the 30 caliber, which is, you know how big a 357 slug is?
I have no.
Okay, well, it's
no
pretty
knowledge
nice.
of guns.
It's a pretty nice size slug.
It's pretty
Okay.
good size.
0.35 inches is probably damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what we're saying, 30 caliber and above
That's big.
is legal to be used with our black powder primitive weapons.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I was thinking. A bear, would that really take a bear down?
Yeah.
Right.
I've never done it.
I would run.
I've never done it, so I would have to defer to somebody that's done that.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I will, Senator, again, do you have something to say?
I did have a question. When
Yes, sir.
when you lower the caliber, is there any kind of feet per second or any kind of limitation on what happens with as you kinetic energy is 1/2 mv squared? So do we address that anywhere in any hunting regulations? I know usually it's energy of the bullet. So what we do on centerfire rifles said has to be done, but on a muzzle loader, I don't know if we have a requirement that deals with energy delivered to the on the shot.
I would have to defer to legal counsel if he may know if we have something with that kind of description in the code. I'm not sure.
I don't know that we do either. I will say this, just to your point, and I don't know if there's anything in DNR reg. We'd have to ask DNR, but these recommendations obviously come to us from DNR and based off of the Wildlife Resources Division and their biologists. So anytime we've lowered calibers or introduced new weapons for use in hunting in our state. Those recommendations have come with
Research
the,
and
with
science
the,
is behind
with,
it.
that's right, with the grace and the sign off from our wildlife biologists that we have in our state, and that they've done the research and the science, as Chairman Rhodes said, behind it to ensure that it's something that we can use. So so that would be the same here with the .30 caliber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Any other questions, Senator Gooch?
If it's not out of order, I was just going to give some friendly advice to the freshman senator from Gwinnett. If you ever get into an issue and you're confronted with a black bear in North Georgia, it's important to be able to outrun the guy you're with. So
You don't want to come in last
if
place.
you're with Senator Mullis, you're probably going to be all right. All right, just some free advice. All right.
That's very good advice.
That's some good advice. Any other questions? Good deal. Have a motion to pass from Senator Gooch. He's got a second from Senator Ginn. Any further discussion on House Bill 362 LC 1648S? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
I just ask that y'all support Chairman Harper on the floor with this bill. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I am carrying it, yeah. That's why he said that, yeah. Yeah, that's right. All right, good deal. Moving to the next bill on the agenda is House Bill 355 by Representative Wiedauer. And we have LC 441612ER is what we will be working off of.
No minutes in my bill.
And the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Chairman stated, I'm here with House Bill 355, LC 441612ER. Simply put, what this bill does, it expands our current carbon registry program to include Georgia-grown and manufactured construction materials. This was brought, we've been working on this for a couple of years now, originated with the Georgia Forestry Commission as an effort of really, bolstering our forestry economy. What this does, in more detail, it establishes a program that creates a high-quality carbon credit that would be sold in the global market. Obviously, in the state of Georgia, we have some Fortune 500 companies that are buying these carbon credits across the globe currently, and there are no states in our union that are really utilizing this program. It's a program we're very excited about. Chairman Lynn Smith on the House side and I have worked very hard with this, as well as Georgia Forestry Commission, to include, again, not only forestry products but construction materials manufactured in the state of Georgia. We can go through line by line, but I will specifically direct you to lines 173 and 174. And I'll do that because these 6 items, which is establishing guidelines for establishing carbon baseline, additionality, validation, verification, performance, and co-benefits. Those 6 items, as you verify and validate these products, are where we're going to set the bar for the quality of this carbon credit that's recognized in the global market. Again, this is something that's being done all over the world. We just are not tapping into it yet, and it's a voluntary program that will incentivize people to, companies who have these products, to go out to third-party verification companies and provide this opportunity for everybody from a Fortune 500 company all the way down to the little guy like me nailing 2x4s together. So that is it in its simplest form. It's a rather scientific situation. I've had a learning curve on it, which is probably why it's taken me a couple years to get here. But happy to stand for any questions should you have them.
We'll open it up for questions.
Sir, thank you.
Anybody? Senator Ginn.
Mr. Chairman, I'm reading line 62 and 63, and it's talking about greenhouse gases. So and I'm kind of wondering why you didn't put the number 1 greenhouse gas in your list. the most prevalent greenhouse gas on the planet. Why is it not on your list?
Would you like to have it in there?
I think I
Mr.
would.
Senator again. What would that be?
That's H2O. It is by far the most prevalent greenhouse gas on the planet, and I'd like to add it to the list.
If you'd like to add it,
People need to know.
people need to know.
Yeah, people think that greenhouse gases are a bad thing. They're not necessarily a bad thing. But I would think that we should recognize that all greenhouse gases are not a problem.
No, I don't disagree with my friend. Any other questions on the underlying bill?
Everybody's happy with it, correct?
It sounds like it, yes, sir, especially if there's no questions.
I'll move to do pass House Bill 355, LC number 441612ER.
Have a motion to pass on House Bill 355.
Mr. Chairman, can we add the in between hexafluoride and nitrogen trifluoride? I'm asking that if we can, if I can get a second on that.
Well, we
that
gotta have
in
a
form of a
second.
motion.
Well, we gotta have a second on Senator Gooch's motion first.
Second his
All right,
motion.
you got a second to Senator Gooch's motion. All right, Senator again, second Senator Gooch's motion on do pass. All right, Senator again.
I would like to, on line 63, after the word hexafluoride, I would like to add the word, or the statement H2O, between that and nitrogen trifluoride.
So, just out of curiosity, so is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
You're offering that as a motion. Is there a second to Senator again's motion? Here, got a second to Senator again's motion. Yeah, oh yeah, well, I'm opening it up for discussion at this point. Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Senator, again for that education. I'm just curious, if we add this greenhouse gas, if we add water to greenhouse gas, will we be giving credits? Will we then in turn give green credits to companies that, I don't know, use water, save water? Like how does adding water change our crediting process here?
You'll have to talk to the author on it as far as the credits, but right now he's telling us that no state in the union allows a credit. And for me to have the largest greenhouse gas, which is the most beneficial, by the way, said that we ignore it, I think that that should be recognized. One of the things that when we look at our whole life is we're 63% water, I think, is what the human body is. Said, and to me, without having that water going back into our atmosphere, we'd all be roasted.
Right. So, but I think my understanding is that the purpose of this bill is to encourage industries, Georgia-grown industries, to offset bad gases. So not the good gases. We're fine with people using water, but we want to credit companies who choose to create products that do not create the harmful green gases. That's my understanding of what this bill does. And so water, to my understanding, is not a harmful green gas. Thus, I would be hesitant to add it to this list of harmful green gases.
I would say that unfortunately there are individuals that believe that water in the atmosphere is harmful. One of the things, and the reason I bring that up, is when you start looking at power generation, which in Georgia is probably the largest use of water that we have in the state, for cooling for power plants. There's a lot of people that are opposed to using water as a cooling mechanism for power plants. And I kind of like my lights to come on, and that's where, for me, when I look at this legislation, I want to try to make sure that we're taking care of that in the legislation.
Ma'am, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I appreciate the comments from Senator Ginn, and certainly understand the concern of his concerns of defining greenhouse gas. And the purpose of this, and just to clarify one thing, when I said that no states in the union are offering this, I was specifically relating that to the utilization of construction products and materials. There are people out there, obviously I think I would venture to guess a vast majority of the states have a carbon registry program, but this would incentivize specifically the construction products that we're talking about in this bill. And I do also agree with Senator Jackson that the intent of this, I think maybe where your concern is the definition of greenhouse gas versus a harmful greenhouse gas. I tend to agree with Senator Jackson that we're not trying to incentivize credits for products that contain water.
Perhaps the motion could be changed to, for purposes in this bill, then we list greenhouse gases credits based on this then. Because for me, that's a concern that, if you're going to talk about greenhouse gases, that, if you want to put that in context, change that. And I don't know, I'll call on our legislative council if that's okay to help us to put that into context here so that we're addressing the greenhouse gases that you're going to, for this purpose of this legislation. But for me,
I think, Senator Gooch.
I just wanted to see if, Senator, I don't think the rest of us are nearly as smart as you today, so for the good of the order,
I'll withdraw my motion.
Withdraw your motion
Okay.
so we can move forward.
That'll work.
Now you can educate us on this stuff at another time.
All right.
Y'all like that?
Well, I'll hold my comments then. So the amendment has been withdrawn. With the amendment withdrawn, we go back to the underlying motion by Senator Gooch of due pass on the bill that is before you as written. Is there any further discussion on the underlying bill? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. And House Bill 355, LC 441612ER has passed. Good deal. Thank you, Representative Wiedauer. And I am carrying this wonderful bill. So, all right, good deal. Anybody have anything else they want to bring before the committee? Hearing none, we are hereby adjourned. Thank y'all very much. Have a great day.